and welcome back to another episode with It's Dr. Dan, and today we're going to be looking at the formation of triacylglycerides. So with these particular compounds, this is a part of our lipid series where we're going to be looking at different introductory biochemistry reactions. So with this one particular is, how do I form a triacylglyceride? Well, it's pretty straightforward how to do it. So if I have a glycerol, which is a 3-member alcohol, so we see 3 alcohols on this structure, and it's attached to 3 carbons, I always recommend drawing it this way. And what this is going to connect to is to 3 separate fatty acids. So whenever we have a fatty acid chain, I replace the R group, the long carbon chain, with an R group. Usually what these look like is these giant long chains, just like the one up here. So we have the glycerol right here on the far left, and we can see like little tiny polar region of the fat or the oil here. And then that's going to be connected to this very, very long fatty acid. So the way this reaction works is pretty easy. What we're going to be doing is removing water to connect the 2 fragments. So what I always do is I line up the H2Os. So if you see here, we got H2O, H2O with my little unders, H2O. And what we're going to be doing is removing that water piece, okay? So if I copy and paste this down right here, and I move it down below, we are just going to be copying and pasting that piece. So we're getting rid of the water part, just like so, boop, boop. Deleting all those. And now what we're going to do is merge these 2 parts together. So when that happens, we now have our fatty acids that are now connecting to our structure. And this is what we call a glycerol carboxylate, or our triacylglyceride. Now keep in mind here, the ending, right? So before, if we had a fatty acid, it would be that carboxylic acid. But being that this is referring to that it's the salt form that this turns into before it bonds, it's going to have that 8 ending when we name these, okay? So it's glycerol, and it's going to be a carboxylate. So when you see a name, you're looking for the 8 ending when it's referring to the large structure. You want to draw the condensed structural formula for glycerol triplemitoleate. Now, how would you do that? Well, generally, you have a reference sheet available to you with a lot of these. You have to look up what the components are for it. Maybe in your class, you have to memorize the different lipids, but hopefully not. What you're going to be doing is there's 2 components, right? So the first one is glycerol. What I would recommend doing is, if you are taking a biochemistry course, is memorize what the structure of glycerol looks like. Remember, there's going to be 3 carbons connected to each other, and each one of them is going to have an OH group. Now, I already provided palmitoleic acid, which is the fatty acid that's going to be used here. So what we're going to do is we're going to put these and line them up next to each other. Now, notice with this structure, we don't have enough acids. So it's going to take 3 of them for this to happen, right? So all this is going to be occurring under usually under acidic conditions, or maybe it's being heated when this is happening. So we will have our 3 different components. So we're going to have 3 of them lined up just like so. And what are we going to be removing? We're going to be removing water as a result, right? So just like how we did before, we're going to copy and paste those guys so that we can show the full complete reaction, right? So when that happens, and being these are such big molecules, usually you have to use multiple lines of a notebook to do that. So we're going to erase all of the OH or water components with the structure. That is going to be our product, right? So we're making 3 waters as part of our reaction. This is going to combine it together to make our final product here, which was the glycerol triplemitoleate, is what our final product is. Now, so just as a reminder, what type of reaction is this? Well, this is a form of a condensation reaction, right? So you're removing water to make this very, very large compound. And that's the complete reaction of how to do this. I hope that this video helped, and please hit that like and subscribe button if it did. And please look at my other lipid videos so you can learn more about these different reactions. All right, I'll see you all later now. Bye now.